My name is Mark Donald. I'm editorial director for Future Plus in Bath. What we do is we make magazines for corporate clients like O2 and Sky, and I'm responsible for the print portfolio for making sure those magazines are of a high quality and what the client wants, and on brand, on brief.
Okay, and your background is mainly in the games division, and you've launched quite a few magazines, redesigned quite a few magazines. Could you give us an idea of the titles that you've worked on, that you've redesigned, that you've launched?
Yeah, I've had my sticky fingers on just about every video game mag Future's ever published. So I redesigned official PlayStation 1 back in 2001, and an Xbox magazine called X Gamer. I launched that, redesigned PC Gamer, PSM2 into PSM3, and official PlayStation 2 into official PlayStation 3.
So obviously this redesign is quite a frequent kind of occurrence. Why would you redesign a magazine? What are the reasons for that?
You redesign a magazine for a number of different reasons. One would be if the market has simply moved away from the current offering. So it might be that the readership has gotten older over the years, and the magazine is speaking with too young a voice and is turning the aging readership off. So you'd need to adjust the magazine in order to move with the audience, in order to grow up with the audience. You might redesign a magazine because sales are plummeting, and you need to do something quick in order to staunch the flow. Sometimes magazines just get stale. They drift away from the original vision. They can become a little loose and baggy at the seams, so you just kind of need to regroup and create a new vision for the magazine and kind of steer it in a new direction. It's kind of like a ship that can drift off course, and you just want to reset its coordinates. And sometimes an editor might just have great new ideas for a magazine, and the redesign just kind of comes spontaneously, that the team gets gripped with enthusiasm and convince the management team that they're going to take it in a brand new direction that could rejuvenate the magazine. So sometimes you do it just because you want to re-promote a magazine and take it to a new level.
And you're sort of you've got strong editorial instincts, and you've been at Future for a long time. You've always been immersed in editorial and creative rather than commercial kind of side of the business, until perhaps moving to Future Plus, I suppose.
Yeah.
How important is How important are the commercial considerations for redesign? You mentioned if sales were down, is that the only thing that would prompt, from a commercial perspective, you to look at a magazine again and say it needs freshening up? Or do you sometimes say we need a better ads vehicle, or we need to meet this certain market, or does that ever happen?
I expect that does happen. It's never happened to me. And I kind of think that puts the cart before the horse. If no one's buying the magazine because it's not right for the readership, then it doesn't. Well, there aren't many magazines that can just live off their ads, though they do exist. So I always think about the readership first, and whether your magazine is hitting those notes, and if it does, then the ads can come along after that. But then that's, like you say, that's partly my perspective. I do focus more on the editorial than on the commercial side. But if you're not selling enough magazines, then you're going to get shut down. So you do have to take that into account.
Okay. So describe the process. You've gone through several redesigns, and I imagine you've developed a kind of an approach.
Yeah, panic first.
Yeah.
What on earth am I going to do with this one? You need a vision for your redesign. Basically, you need to know why you're doing it. You need to understand what the problem is you're trying to fix. So I kind of like to think of it as a story that you're nailing down for your magazine. If the readership has got older and your magazine is still very young and talking with a young voice, then how do you make that young magazine grow up a bit, but still remain true to what made it popular in the first place. So GamesMaster, which is the last redesign I did, is a very good example of that. It's always been perceived as a video games magazine for I guess, well, for the kids, for early teenagers. But the market research we had said the audience was getting much older and into their 20s and 30s and beyond. So it was obvious that the magazine had to get older, but if you just turn it into Edge or another video games magazine which speaks in an older voice, then how do you still make it GamesMaster? How do you still keep it true to itself? So you kind of got to take the problem or the opportunity that affects that particular magazine and work out how to fix that problem or grab that opportunity, but do it in a way that's true to the heritage of that magazine. So you've got to make GamesMaster older, but in a GamesMaster way, and you've got to work out how to do that. And partly that's a matter of research, of getting all the market data you can for that magazine, of talking to the team and finding out what they know is going on with their readership. Talk to the readership, get out there in the forums and on the social networks and find out what they're saying about the magazine, what it is they want, what it is they like, what it is they hate. For me, these are the kind of the underpinnings of any redesign. It's understanding what the magazine is all about, what's made it successful, and understand the issues that are affecting it now that you hope to address with a redesign.
So it's a research-based approach where you say, where are we now, where do we want to be, and do you try to kind of characterise your reader? Do you build a picture of who a typical reader is, or how does your vision manifest itself as because I imagine you have to create almost like a touchstone for everything you do, like a kind of, does this fit our brief? Do you sort of say, here's a mood board of what this product should be, or how does it work? Or does it work differently in every?
It works differently. Some people do mood boards. Some people do pen portraits of the readership, so they'll say our reader is Alan and he lives in Droitwich and he is 24 and he likes fast cars and cracking nuts, or whatever else it is that you might imagine. And you might build up 4 or 5 different pen portraits to kind of cover your audience. Different people work in different ways. They're all just tools that can be useful to kind of give you an idea of the direction you're going in, and especially early on when you kind of got a vision but you haven't got anything concrete. These can be useful things to hold on to. One thing that people do is they'll do what they call a SWOT analysis, which stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. And that literally is you'll divide a piece of paper up into 4, and you'll write down what are the magazine's strengths. You'll list them. What are its weaknesses? What are the threats that are coming in? And that might be we're not selling enough ads, or the readership's falling off a cliff, or the market's changed and we need to catch up with it. And then you have to look at, and then the O is the opportunities, and the redesign will be part of that. And through breaking down the problem into sections like that, you can start to get your head around it a bit more.
So is that the approach that you took with GamesMaster? Did you sort of do a SWOT analysis, or are you so well practiced that you don't have to write things down and it's all in your head? Or
with GamesMaster, I had a lot of market data about how the readership was changing. So I was able to build up a profile of who the current mag was aimed at, and how we had to re-steer it to aim it at a slightly different profile. The issue with GamesMaster, as we talked about earlier, was that the readership was aging, but the magazine was perceived as being for a much younger audience. So what I had to do was kind of work out how to create something that was still GamesMaster, that was still kind of fun and spontaneous and and very kind of detailed and